Hi, everyone. I'm Dave Bovin, and I serve as the Dean of the School of Business and Technology at Chipola College. I'd like to welcome you to our weekly tech topic. I have with me today Ben Bridges. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, he's been our co-host and often leading many of our segments, so we have a strong team in place. Today, for our weekly tech topic, we want to look at some microcomputing options. And what's exciting with our School of Business and Technology programs, whether in class or online, we're looking at technology as the backbone of the business environment. And the technology is cut across all disciplines. If you just look at the majors that we have at Chipola College, you can major in the School of Business and Technology, accounting, computer information systems, engineering, and management. And technology really serves all those disciplines quite well. So we had, in a previous discussion on our weekly tech topic, we looked at Google's Cardboard and their thought with this virtual reality. Open this one here, it's fresh out of the package. But when you look at this technology about how you can use your smartphone and have a very functional headset looking at VR and how that can be utilized in our classes and in the workspace, this was Google's attempt of kind of rolling that out to the masses. And it's a neat way to utilize VR. And we use this in our classes and our presentations when we're out there with conferences and working with students and those in the community. But there's other neat advances, not just in virtual reality, across the sector, regardless of the discipline. And today we actually have one in regard to computing power, about how to have microsystems. Something about this Google Cardboard is that it's very affordable. You know, Google could have gone high end. They could have said, well, let's make our virtual reality headset $10,000. But instead they went $10. Actually, if we buy them in bulk like we do, maybe $8, not a whole lot of money. So there are also companies for similar technologies taking that approach of providing the resources out to the masses. The thought of getting a foothold or just solving a business problem, of having many people utilize a functionality capability at low cost that still actually provides a great performance. So today, looking at some computer options, we want to go looking at some resources we utilize in the classroom and in some of our functions doing with students and the community that we share, of a very affordable, low-end technology that actually has a high functioning performance. So it's on the high end, on the functionality, you can do a lot with it, but not very expensive, and it doesn't really have a big profile. So today we're not talking about fruit, but we're talking about a raspberry. So Ben, what do you have with us today?
Very true. So in the range of computers, there are low-cost computers and then there are very high-cost computers. And many people like to take a look at those high-cost computers because they have very strong processing power, and usually they're the frontliners of the computer tech industry and what's showcased. But today we'd like to look at the other side of this range. And this is equally important and equally as impressive, in my opinion. We have a few devices here, and specifically the Adafruit Raspberry Pi and the Adafruit Halloween. It was marketed as a Halloween DIY project, but it is as powerful as any other microcontroller. So this is normally what's called a Feather M0 Express, and we'll go into this one a little bit later. So first we'd like to look at the Raspberry Pi. So these things are essentially small computers, and you can run everything from a Linux distribution, which is a free open source operating system for computers. So you can do your schoolwork, you can do projects, whatever you would like to on this small device itself. And it is equipped with all of the normal ports that a computer would have: USB ports, an Ethernet, a auxiliary, an HDMI, and a power supply. It can also supply a micro SD card, and if you open up the top here, this is a custom case, but on the inside there are plenty of ports and circuit ports that you can expand upon with this computer. So many of the projects that people can do with this include everything from having a small microcomputer, one that you can just take on the go, bring a small keyboard and a small screen. You can even equip it with a screen and 3D print a casing to make it all-in-one. but this is a extremely mobile computer, and it really pulls its own weight.
And it's low cost.
Absolutely.
You think a kind of a low-end laptop for price-wise might be, boy, maybe $200, say, just picking a round number, and this well under $100.
Yes, this is a $40 device. And in fact, this is the most expensive of the line. You can buy an even smaller one for $5. It is called the Raspberry Pi Zero. And they also have very impressive computing power for their price.
So it's exciting if you're working on coursework or working on a research project here on campus or kind of off campus with one of our multiple projects. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to have some functionality to tackle the projects or course assignments. $40 or less, you can have almost everything you need to work on schoolwork or to work on an assignment, and hopefully well before the due date.
Absolutely. And one more thing I would like to highlight with this is that it does not just double as a computer or a microcontroller. It can also run other things. A lot of people like to modify this to run like vintage games. Some people can create custom smart mirrors where you hook this up to a TV and put a two-way mirror in front of it, and you can make very fancy furniture and appliances with it, that of which are connected to Wi-Fi, and you can control how you wish. And the second device we would like to look at is the HalloWing, also known as the Feather M0 Express. It is also a small microcontroller, considerably smaller, and has more of a DIY approach. If you look on the back, it is a bare circuit with plenty of ports and places that can be expanded upon. If you want to look at it, you're welcome to.
Yeah, we'll actually bring these into some of our classes, and if you look at the back side, this is a bare circuit, but it has the enclosure of the casing here, and as Ben just said, this one is open, so it gives you more functionality. You can utilize it on the fly.
Absolutely.
Incorporate it with other devices.
And what I really, really like about this Feather is the expandability of it. For example, it has, I believe it's 8 sensors on it, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but there is a light sensor up here, a speaker is somewhere on it, and there are other ones around it as well.
Truly is micro, it's hard to find.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you could hook this up on, say, something, a lot of people like to do this, where they'll have like a plant pot where they hook one of these up to, and it can actually measure the moisture in the soil. Or you can have this as a light sensor that can dim your lights as the sun, the sun rises and the sun sets. And there are a lot of uses. And in fact, it even has a screen on the front and a speaker in the back. We have this attached to a small lithium-ion battery, so it is also mobile if you wish, or you can plug it into a charger or an external charger as well to run it.
So if someone watching this segment would like to purchase one of these products, I think Best Buy in person, you could buy a Raspberry Pi. Amazon would definitely have both of these. Is there a place you recommend for the last device you highlighted?
I would recommend either Amazon or Adafruit.com. Adafruit.com is the company that produces these and designs these. They're an open source company. They focus a lot around community DIY and community building. So majority of these projects have been designed by the community themselves, which is phenomenal in my opinion. And these projects also are built for DIY in mind. So both of them are highly programmable, highly designable. You can really do whatever you want. The world is your oyster with these devices.
In the DIY, the do-it-yourself approach, works in construction, home repair. Both technology is exciting to have these small portable devices, from a virtual reality, to a Raspberry Pi, to a peripheral device that you can use to test the moisture in your plants. I mean,
Right.
It's amazing for the do-it-yourself environment in that industry. So thanks, Ben. These have been some neat technologies to showcase this week. It's been a pleasure having
has
you
been a
here
pleasure.
and sharing the show with you. So,
Thank you for having me.
bye, everyone.